Welcome back, everybody, to the GSMC Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We just got done talking about the Oslo Diamond League meet, and now we're going to switch over to talking about softball. So the softball World Series is coming to an end soon, and it has been really exciting to watch and stay updated with. In yesterday's video, I recapped Game 5 to Game 12 and gave my predictions on Game 13. So if you're interested in hearing about all of that, I recommend you go check out that video. For this segment, we're going to talk about the Game 13, the recap of it, which was Stanford v. UT Austin from last night. And then we'll also talk about Oklahoma v. Florida, which took place today. And then I'll give my predictions about the first final game being held tomorrow, and I mean pretty much the finals overall, because it is the same team competing against each other in all three finals games. So let's start with the recap of UT Austin v. Stanford. This was a very good game to watch. This game was a roller coaster. I predicted that UT Austin was going to win, and thankfully I was correct here. The Longhorns won the game with the final score of 1-0, so it was a super duper close game. This was the third time the Longhorns and Stanford went head to head in this year's season, so there was a lot of build-up competition and rivalry in the air. The game held at Devon Park in Oklahoma City was marked by a stellar pitching performance from Texas freshman Teagan Kavan, who outdueled Stanford's All-American pitcher Najeri Kennedy for the second time of the tournament. Kavan's dominance was evident as she pitched a complete game, allowing only one hit throughout her time in the circle. This performance replicated her earlier showing in the World Series, cementing her role as a critical player for Texas. The game's pivotal moment occurred in the top of the seventh inning when Alyssa Cross managed to score after a tense run-down attempt. This run proved to be the game winner, with Kavan's pitching ensuring it was all Texas needed. On the other side here, Najeri Kennedy showed resilience under pressure. Like always, after allowing the run, Stanford faced an uphill battle with runners on second and third. However, Kennedy skillfully prevented any further damage by keeping subsequent plays confined within the infield, showcasing her defensive skills despite the high stakes here. I just think that Kennedy is one of the best pitchers in the league. I mentioned that many times in many videos. I absolutely love watching her. But I also think that Teagan Kavan is also super amazing. I'll talk more about her as well when we go into predictions for the finals. So it was just such a good game to see both of them go head to head, because I do feel like they're the two top pitchers in the league. So now let's talk about the game today, Florida v. Oklahoma. This was also a roller coaster, I'll say. The final score was 5-6 with Oklahoma winning. This was a close game. The game, which unfolded also in Oklahoma City, saw Jayda Coleman emerge as the heroine with a walk-off home run that sealed a spot for her team in the World Series Finals. The match began with Florida asserting dominance early on. Jocelyn Erickson and Ariel Kowalewski both delivered powerful home runs in the initial innings, and set a formidable pace and putting the Gators ahead here. And then Erickson's blast came against her former team, adding a layer of drama to her towering two-run shot that cleared the left field bleachers, signaling Florida's aggressive intent. However, the Oklahoma Sooners, a team known for their resilience and batting depth, did not let the early deficit demoralize them. Oklahoma began to chip away at Florida's lead. Ella Parker's two-run homer in the second inning was a critical moment, echoing across at the stadium as a declaration of the Sooners' fighting spirit here. As the innings progressed, the tension at the ballpark escalated. Each team's bullpen was tested as the lead changed hands multiple times. Oklahoma's Sydney Sanders, also known for her power hitting, made significant contributions, including a solo home run that brought the Sooners within striking distance. Meanwhile, Florida's Keegan Rothrock, despite crossing the 150 pitch mark, fought valiantly in the circle, trying to stave off the persistent Oklahoma batters. The game pushed into extra innings, tied at 5-5. Jayda Coleman, who had earlier expressed frustration by slamming her bat after a disappointing at-bat, found redemption in the most spectacular fashion, so she wasn't able to let that mental block get into her. Facing the delivery from Rothrock, Coleman launched a decisive solo home run to the opposite field. The ball soared over the right field wall, just eluding the leap of Florida's outfielder Corb Otis. This was an incredible game overall, I'll say. So now that Oklahoma won, they will be heading into the finals with UT Austin. I was really thinking that Oklahoma may not be in the finals, considering how they've been playing the day before. But this game today showed that they are up for the challenge of getting to the finals, and that they are going to be good competition for the Longhorns. There will be 2 final games for sure. The first final game is tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern time, and then the second final game is June 6th, the following day at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And then there's also a third final game if needed that will be June 7th. However, based on how everything goes, those times and dates may change, I'll say. I also wanted to say that I wish that Stanford was going in the finals because I think it'd be such an epic moment for Najeri Kennedy. But also at the same time, like we see UT Austin and Texas go head-to-head so many times that I'm like, it's nice to see Oklahoma and now UT Austin go head-to-head again. So, I mean, it'll be a good game either way for sure. This doesn't shock me that Oklahoma is going to be in the finals though, because, I mean, they're the number 2 seed. You would expect that just based on stats. UT Austin, I mean, I was very confident they were going to be in the finals. So, I mean, this isn't shocking to me at all, but I'm just gonna tell you guys my predictions for the final game because I think this is gonna be a really good game to watch, especially the first final, and then the other finals will too, of course, other final games. But it will be interesting to see how it goes. So going into the World Series, we all thought that Oklahoma would just take win after win until the finals, but I felt like they did struggle in some of the games more than I would have thought they would. I thought they were going to be the hottest team going out because they have that confidence and motivation of already winning 3 World Series, and they have that, motivation to win a 4th. But just by looking at the game so far, it seems that maybe Texas has more motivation and confidence to win the World Series and take that 4th victory away from Oklahoma, just based on energy I'm seeing. Also, I think that Texas has a stronger lineup. I mean, they both have equally great lineups, but I do think that Texas has been stronger, particularly this year with their lineup. Pitcher Teagan Kavan is so amazing, and she has proven herself to be one of the strongest pitchers in the league at this World Series games. In the last game against Stanford, she allowed no walks and had a total of 7 strikeouts. She showed that she was just as good as Kennedy in the game, and sort of even better if you consider that, she was just as good as her. Texas also has Reese Atwood and Bella Dayton, who have strong hits. Also, they have Mac Morgan, and she's a great player, especially when combined with Kavan. Morgan has the lowest strikeout rate, but she has the highest velocity and amazing control, and that's going to be valuable if she happens to pitch in the finals game. Because Texas has these 3 strong pitchers, also sit Lily Gutierrez, they will be pretty strong off the start in defense, I think. They have the ability to back up each other. For example, when both Gutierrez and Kavan struggled against A&M in the Super Regionals, Morgan put out fires in the first 2 games and won the third. So they were able to back each other up, and having those 3 strong pitchers is going to be very beneficial for the team. Texas also has amazing offense with the best batting average in the country, and while Oklahoma has more power, UT makes up for that with speed. Texas beats all the teams in the World Series in depth, and all the players have come at bat at least 100 times before the World Series began, so they have that experience. 5 of the 9 regulars have hit at least 8 home runs, 8 have driven in at least 30 runs, and all 9 have scored at least 34 runs. There is really no weak link here. What will be Texas' biggest threat from Oklahoma is Tiare, I'm so bad at pronouncing names. Tiare Jennings. Sorry, guys. We all know who Tiare Jennings is, so it's okay. She had 17 home runs with a team best of 66 RBIs when starting the World Series games, and she's proven herself to still be an amazing hitter at bat during the World Series. I'll say that Oklahoma's pitching does seem to have slipped a bit this year. The trio of Jordy Bell, Alex Storoko, and Nicole May was almost unhittable last season, but with Bell gone to Nebraska, Storoko out of eligibility, and May less effective just in general, their coach had to rely quite a bit on Oklahoma State transfer Kelly Maxwell and sophomore Kirsten Deal. The results are still very good, don't get me wrong, and they have the best infield fielding percentage of any World Series teams. But overall, they're slightly more vulnerable because of this. Oklahoma allowed 6 or more runs in 6 games this season, losing 4 of them. So they are more vulnerable. So based on all of that, I think UT Austin is going to come out on top, at least in the first game. I see them as a stronger team going to the World Series, but regardless, I think it is going to be a super close game and pretty darn competitive. So we're now going to move on to the next segment where we talk about the Xfinity US Gymnastics Championships. Before we get into that, we're going to be taking a very short break, so I will see you guys very soon.